Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Voice by Matt show. My name is Matt Bertho. I'm your host. And today I have James Lawrence, the Iron Cowboy, a guy that I've talked to since 2019. And I know that I've told you this before, James, but you were instrumental in me taking my life back, taking my health back, because you were on the MFCEO with Andy, and you guys were talking about a new program that Andy was developing called 75 Hard.
Yes, sir.
And he said, none of you MFers are going to finish this. And I said, game on. Let's go. And so I just started connecting with you after that podcast. And since then, man, holy moly, our lives have just completely changed.
Did you do 75 hard or the entire live hard program?
I did the whole thing.
Okay, I'm currently on day 3 of phase 1 again.
Yep. So, James, tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them about the 50-50-50. Tell them about the 100 consecutive. And then we're going to dive into more of your story, your origin story, where you found your voice. But, get them up to speed with where you're at right now and what you've accomplished.
Yeah, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version.
Let's go.
And then we can dive into it.
Yeah.
It'll just take me a hot minute. So, grew up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Actually, you're an hour away from my home right now, sitting there in Banff, Alberta, which is an incredible spot. I'm so happy you're getting to experience that. Grew up a wrestler, moved to the States after a Ferris wheel competition that I sat on a Ferris wheel for 10 days.
What?
At the Calgary Stampede. And
that's the kind of crap that wrestlers do. Because I'm a wrestler too. We just do crazy crap.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Being on that Ferris wheel was a competition between 10 people that started, and I was shocked when people were getting off the ride because it was the easiest thing I've ever done, just to sit there in complete boredom. But I quickly recognized that people just aren't okay with the conversations they're having with themselves. And we can dive into that. But I won the contest, hitchhiked a ride to Utah to visit a friend, met my wife. In fact, we just celebrated 23 years of marriage, and my oldest daughter has an open house tonight for to celebrate the wedding that she just had.
Yeah, so, congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you. Incredible day. Just a really cool moment to watch your child be so happy and joyous, and hopefully
I just want to say something about that, because I loved that your whole family, it looked like on Instagram, was very instrumental in the whole process of the actual ceremony and the wedding, which I think is really beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we've been a very tight family unit the entire journey, all the way through this. The ups, the downs, the struggles, the good, the bad, the tears, the smiles, all of it. And so my journey kind of started when my wife challenged me to do a 4-mile fun run to celebrate Thanksgiving. I did it. I hated it. She signed me up for marathon. I hated it. But then I found triathlon, loved it. And I think I just loved the diversity. I was learning how to swim. I borrowed a bike and I just dove into the community, the sport, just really, really loved having a competitive outlet. Then I found Ironman and said, I just want to do one. Did that, had an amazing experience, made some big mistakes, but did some things right. And, with the way that I'm wired, I always want to do it better than I did it before, and always push the envelope, raise the ceiling. And so it led to tackling the world record for the most half Ironmans in a single year. We did that project to build dams in Africa, did 22 half Ironmans in 30 weeks. Then that led us down the path to doing the full Ironman world record, 30 Ironmans through 11 countries, all official events. And then as you're progressing through these challenges, when you're in the moment, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. And then it takes you to the final moment, the finish line, to where you're like, oh, I can see a mountain I couldn't see before. What's that? And it's because you've changed, you've evolved, you've gained new knowledge and experience, so more becomes possible. And I think that's what people are doing, is they're limiting themselves on their experiences, and it's just seals what's possible for them, and they're not continuing on their journey. And then we finished the 30 Ironmans in a year, and I was like, dude, I'm capable of so much more. And so we tackled what we call the 50. That's what our book, Redefined Impossible, is about. That's the documentary that's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV and Peacock. It's called the 50. And it was 50 Ironmans, events that we put on and organized ourselves. We were covering the distance, 50 consecutive days, one in every US state. And then after that, my life changed, became an author, became a speaker. I've spoken in 56 countries around the world.
Wow, James.
Been been an incredible journey, totally life changing. To finish a presentation and have somebody come up to you like a grown man, just bawling in tears, you were speaking directly to me. And
Yeah.
then a year later, to get a message from a different individual from that event that says, "Hey, I wasn't in a position to talk to you in the moment. I was too embarrassed about where my life was, but these are the changes that I've made. You saved my life." And so those are just incredible moments to have. As someone who's trying to push limits and help people to get out of their own way and win. And then when the pandemic hit, like speaking calendar gone, coaching gone, events gone, all public events gone. And I saw it as an opportunity to even improve and be better than I've been in the past. And so we put the team together, we removed chaos, and we tackled 100 consecutive Ironmans, 14,000 miles, 14 weeks, no days off, and just tried to execute. And super pumped about our new book coming out, Iron Hope, and the documentary that's premiering here at Sundance, Utah on March 27th of this.
Whoa. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, man.
Well,
So,
I got the number 58 head what was it, swim cap?
swim cap, yeah.
Yeah, I have the number 58 because I wanted 58 because of Derek Thomas. And
Okay.
so yeah, I got that.
I love
Tell
that,
me
man.
about this Sundance Film Festival. What's going on, James?
Yeah, so the actual Sundance Film Festival just ended, but it's right here in my backyard. The Sundance is 15 minutes from my house. And it's just kind of a real special spot. And because we did it in Utah, we wanted to um, release the new documentary, the Conquer 100 documentary, at that spot. Red carpet, going to be really special. So it'll be available to the public on March 28th on our website, at ironcowboy.com, and then it'll slowly start to show up on all the streaming platforms. And so it's a really special piece. When I sat down with the producers, I was like, look, rule number one, don't make me look like an idiot. Um, and they didn't accomplish that, but that's because you just can't help stupidity. But then I said, I want this to be about family. I want this to be about community. I want to
Mm,
people with the essence, the aura of hope. And
yeah.
in fact, that's what our new book is called, is Iron Hope.
Oh,
Because we've just experienced that on our journey, we show up and we intentionally suffer. But because of that, it's giving people hope on their journey where they're dealing with things they didn't ask for, whether it's addiction or abuse or
mm,
just like trauma in their lives, or they're just dealing with difficult times. It just empowers you and gives you that hope that you need
mm.
to keep showing up, keep grinding, keep chipping away, and making it to the next part of your journey.
I feel that. I feel that. I know where we're going today. I know where we're going today. You have evolved into this whole that you're getting wholer, right? This wholer version of James. And I've been through a lot, as you know. I've shared some of it with you. COVID was rough. My dad passed in June 2020. I just went through a divorce, which is really rough. Um, but as we grow, God, because I know your faith is really important to you, which is where I want to go there, because I know I can feel it from you, and I can see it in your family that God is a very important part,
Yes, sir.
and God's a very important part in my life too. And I know that as the discipline grows, James, with the cold baths and the meditations and the prayer and the breathing and the challenges. I have goosebumps all over my body saying this to you right now. You know where I'm going. That we become closer to God in a sense. That our light shines brighter, and yours is shining brighter right now. And you're changing lives. And you said hope. And when I'm coaching my clients, I tell them, whatever speech they're giving, you can dash a little bit of sadness and a little bit of depressed and a little bit of anger. You can dash it in there and you can feel it for a brief moment. But the underlying feelings, the emotions that you must hold on to throughout that speech are hope and love. Because if you don't have that, the audience is going to be left empty. They're going to be left with these feelings of, pain and trauma and regret and sadness, which we don't want our audience to feel, right? We can let them feel it for a second, but we got to hold on to that hope and love. And
Mhm.
I'd love for you to talk about your faith a little bit and what that's all about for you. And because I know watching the documentary, especially the first one, you had some painful moments, painful, where I saw broke James
Yeah,
ready to.
you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you see the 100. Uh, it's absolutely wild. And truly, I've never been so close to a higher being than during the 50, during the 100, during the most challenging times. Uh,
Goosebumps.
in fact, I look back when we lost everything in the economic crash, like an opportunity to become closer as a family and with God, and an opportunity, all these opportunities. I almost love it when somebody tells me they're at rock bottom. Uh,
Mm,
and I want to say, dude, congratulations. Like that's an amazing place to be if you choose to connect with your community, connect with a higher power, connect all around. Because that's the purpose of life is to figure out why we're here, what we're doing, how we're navigating it, and what impact we can have.
mm-hmm.
And all of these really hard challenges and journeys create that opportunity for me to continually grow that aspect of my life.
Yeah. So the voice, your voice, this inner voice that made you get on that Ferris wheel, that made
Mhm.
you stay on that Ferris wheel, that made you say, "Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna run the 4 mile fun run. I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'll do the marathon. Okay, I'm gonna do the Ironman." But I know that voice, that internal voice is like, "Go, do it. Go, go, go." And so talk a little bit about that. Like, how did you hear that? How did you feel that? And then did you declare things? Like, because I know for me, when I'm in that moment of I'm about to break, I yell at God. Like, I'm like, I need help, God. Help me. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think the louder, more relentless, ruthless voice is the don't do it voice.
Ah,
And that's the adversary wanting us not to grow, not to adapt, not to evolve. And it's the other voice that's quieter.
yeah.
And that's our intuition.
Yes.
We've gotten further and further away from listening to our intuition and looking at people on social media. And what are they doing? And hey, I've got this thought, and immediately we turn to like, hey, what do you think? And you're like, what? Who cares what you think? What do you think?
Yeah.
And what are you feeling? And usually that thought or intuition we're getting is like the gift from God, and it's like take action immediately. But what most people are doing is they like don't listen to it, don't give it any credit, and then it passes, and that's sad because you're passing on an opportunity to change, grow, and get to the person you're meant to be. And
Ooh.
so it's super important to continually consume good information, to surround yourself with good people, because the more negative and destructive that is our surroundings, the quieter and further away that voice and our real intuition is and becomes.
Mm. So James, take us through a typical day for James.
There
Like,
is no typical day.
well, let's talk about your routine because I know you got that pretty locked in. Like how because I know for me when I do my gratitude in the morning and I do my breathing, I do the Wim Hof breathing into prayer and meditation. I know it's easier for me to listen and hear that quieter voice. What do you do daily to make sure that you're in tune with that?
Yeah, super important. I've developed this routine over a long period of time. Um, First thing that happens when I wake up, just stretch, hands overhead, point my toes, and then I put a smile on my face.
Hmm.
Because how you greet the day is what is the energy that you're sending out. And then as I turn and hang both my feet off the side of my bed, I put one hand over my heart and I feel from my heart rate. And as soon as I can feel it, I'm like, I express gratitude for the inner workings of my body. And then I close my eyes and I take a massive deep breath and I hold it. And then I let it go. And then I express more gratitude for the breath that I get to breathe in the air that's abundant around me. And then as I put my 2 feet on the ground, left foot, right foot, thank you. And then I'm expressing more gratitude. And then I drop to my knees and express more what I'm thankful for and what I hope to get out of the day and how I'd like to be guided. And then I turn it over. And then I immediately go into my morning routine of movement. I get a workout in. I'll between that an intense workout and the gratitude, I'll do an awakening, a simple yoga mindfulness practice of meditation, to just again open up my energy to wherever
Mm.
I'm supposed to be and whatever I'm supposed to do on that day. And then I start attacking my day with my to-dos and be with my family. And so the way that I also structure my day is and today's unique because of timing and things like that. This isn't normal. From when I wake up to noon, it's personal time. It's me working on my mind, my body, my spirit, connecting with my family, my spouse. From noon to 6, business. We're digging in, we're growing, we're creating impact. And then from 6 to when I go to bed, again, it's personal and family time. And on Fridays, I schedule nothing because that's my clear day, and I always take Sundays completely off, no matter what
Mm.
it is, unless it's like a scheduled race. I never train on Sundays. I don't do things I would normally do during the week, and it's an opportunity for me to reset my body, my mind, and my soul.
Wow. I hope that people listened to what you just said and took some notes because, guys, this is what the elite do. The elite athletes of the world have that kind of routine, and you know that evolved over time, right? That just didn't happen one day, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this routine.
My biggest advice to individuals right now is if you're making changes in your life to be better, to have more impact, to not feel happiness, but to feel joy, you want to create success, you want to create momentum, you want to create small wins. And so that's the secret is to start creating small wins. Don't put 20 new things on your plate.
Mm.
Tomorrow, wake up and do one thing different. And allow that to start to infiltrate and have the discipline to continue to do it so that it becomes routine and a habit. Then add two, then add three, depending if you're continuing to have success and create that momentum at 4, 5, 6. Let's just say hypothetically, like everybody's so rushed to see success, and that's the recipe for failure. Just fast forward into the future, 12 months from now, if you have 12 really amazing new habits by
Mm.
this time, 2025, dude, why wouldn't you want that?
Mm.
And if you did, like, we'll just use terms of social media and following, right? Like, let's say it's one of your goals to get your message out there and have your voice heard. If 1 year from now you had 100,000 followers, would it be worth the work that it took to get there? Problem is people try to do it in 10 days, 20 days, 30 days. They don't see the success they want and they fail. And then they quit on it. So I want everyone, that's a challenge, is to look into the future 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and go, okay, if this was in place, would I be happy? And then reverse engineer that and say, what's it going to take to achieve that? And then for hell's sake, just exude some discipline and some patience. That's how you win.
Mm.
Guaranteed, you're going to lose if you try to set a goal too big and then rush to the end result.
Mm.
You're missing the point. You're missing the whole point if you're rushing to the result because it's no longer, man, I hope people are getting this and listening. It's not about the destination. It's not about the finish line. It's about the stepping stones and the progress that we have on the journey. I look back at many parts of my journey. It's not the finish line. It's not the goal being achieved. It's in the moments of grind and
Mm.
digging and suffering and sacrificing that I miss because those are the moments of growth. But everybody doesn't want to have those experiences. Everybody wants to get to the glory and the finish line. There is no glory. There is no finish line. It's a constant pursuit of growth, stepping stones, momentum, success, confidence breeds confidence.
Mm.
Stay the course. You will be a guaranteed winner if you just keep showing up and just keep chipping away.
Mm. Man, James, I'm so grateful to have you in my life. For one, for me to reach out to you and you be so gracious these last 5 years to actually communicate with me on Instagram and support me. And I remember I was doing the 29029 event with Itzler, and I was in Utah. And I remember I asked you, I was like, you know, my these shoes that I got, they're not working, man. Like, he goes, well, what are you wearing? I was like, well, I got these ultra hiking shoes and I'm using those. I'm getting blisters on my feet. He goes, well, just put your freaking running shoes on that you've been training with before and just use those. And I put those on, James, and it was fine after that. But, that being said too, James is an expert in, hiking, running, trails, swimming, biking, wrestling. I want to talk a little bit about the wrestling because, wrestling was a huge part of my life. Every weekend for, 5, 6 years old to 18, it was a tournament, right? And I think you can, I can tell a lot who wrestled and who hasn't just by the mental toughness and non quit of the people that I'm around. Can you tell us what it was like growing up in the Lawrence family and what mom was like, what dad was like? Like, give us a little insight to, what they taught you and the values and this mental toughness that you have, this risk that you take with your body to do these challenges, right? Like, where did that come from with mom and dad, grandpa, grandma? Like, where was that instilled in you?
Yeah, I grew up with three sisters, no brothers. And really it was through sport and the coaches and mentors that I had in the school system. It was a really great in Canada. Um, I just joined every team I could and I just tried to absorb as much as I could from every coach. I mean, it was interesting. I had three incredible examples in my life, all very different. My mom, my dad, and my grandmother.
Mm,
And my mom was I'm a mama's boy. And and she's this like nurturer. She is loving. She is holistic. She's spiritual,
mm,
and she taught us so much about mind body connection and doing the work and the connection between our emotions and our body and all these things. And then my dad, incredible, very hard worker, sacrificed so much for his family. I'm talking blue collar, firefighter, electrician, always put food on the table, never complained, like just stoic. That generation, you know.
mm-hmm,
And then my grandmother immigrated from Poland and Ukraine. Was born over there, came over to Canada, and was the consummate entrepreneur.
mm.
She had a vision, a dream. It was so big, and she was a hard worker. And she was not. She did door to door back in the 70s. I mean, you're talking high heels, lipstick, fax machines, walking like you want to picture like a woman in a babushka and just like making the dream happen.
Oh,
She created a business that she pulled checks from well into her 90s. And so
wow.
like I looked at those three people and I just was like, that's what I want. And I just I like took the three of them and I was like, that's a super
Mm.
that's a superhuman. And through my sports and my coaching and everything that I learned through all of that is what I try to apply in my daily life. And that's how I'm striving to be that trinity of those three people. Still today. I'm a
Wow.
work in progress, man. And every day I'm showing up like, how can I be better? Who can I help? Who can I serve? How can I thrive? How can I grow? How can I benefit? How can I contribute? All those things are going through my mind every single day after that expression of gratitude. It's just like, just guide me, put me on the path.
So this legacy is big for you.
Legacy is everything, man.
Yeah.
Macklemore says in a song, "You die twice. Once when they put you in the grave, and once when the last person mentions your name." And it's huge, and it's through our kids and leading by example, and they become our legacy. And I want our story to be timeless. I want the legacy to grow. I want it to be impactful. And at the end of the day, if we give hope to somebody new every year, every week, every day, every hour, that's the legacy I want to leave.
Well, you're changing a lot of lives right now, Like, did you ever think that that boy growing up in Alberta, Canada, was going to be speaking on stages with thousands of people in front of him and doing these Ironmans and changing the world? Because you're showing us what's possible, right?
To be honest with you, I didn't know exactly what it looked like. But about age 11, I was like, and in my head, I was just like, I'm different,
Huh.
and I'm going to do something so incredible one day. And I didn't know what it was, but I had that belief, that confidence, that conviction just as a little kid. And no idea what it was going to be. Still, I don't even know what it is going to be today. I just show up, right? And I'm open to the path, the direction. Um, 10 doors open every single day. And it's like, the old like nativity Christmas thing where every day you get to open up
Yes.
pies or chocolate. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, ooh, I get to open my nativity today. I get to
I
find out
love that.
like I get like, what's my direction? What's the path? And
Oh no.
this is what I'm here to do. This is what I'm doing. And I'm like, no, dude, it's an open flowing river. And I was like, who am I going to meet? What doors am I going to open? What opportunities are going to present themselves? Who can I bless? How do I get blessed? Like all these things every single day. So like every day is a damn nativity advent calendar for me.
So I want to talk about mom a little bit because you said a couple things that triggered me and pulled on my strings a little bit, which was the holistic and the spiritual part, and the mind, body, spirit, and you said emotional connection with the body. I was in wrestling when I would lose, man, I would go crazy, like crazy when I was little. And I had this one coach. His name was Rudy Hernandez. I can see the whole picture in my head. We were at a wrestling tournament in my hometown, and I got beat. And I came off the mat. I'm so pissed. And I remember Big Rudy, giant man, took his hands and he put them on my shoulders. And he goes, Matt, all that anger, all that sadness that you feel right now, you know what you could do with that? You could channel that for good, and you could channel that to win. And that was like this huge moment for me to realize, wow, that power, that emotion, that spirit is inside of me. I can channel it to performance, to a hike, to a run, to wrestling, right? And just go in the zone, right? And you know that zone really well, James. You've been in it so many times where everything is blur except for the thing you're focused on. So can you like give us some insight of like what mom taught you? Like what were some of the things she said to you? Because I think as a parent, even for me with Max and Leo, my two sons, like I want to teach them about spirit and emotion and that connection to spirit and God and the holy part of us that trigger that click, right, that you feel that spirit, and you're able to do things that you didn't think you could do ego wise, right? So could you talk a little bit about like what she taught you?
Yeah, I think watching my mom and her connection to a higher being and religion and all these things really helped me stay calm in moments. And then just, on the other side of that coin is the stoicism that my dad had. Just like super calm for the most part in these situations and how you handle adversity. And okay, that happened. I'm not going to overreact, and now I'm going to navigate it.
Hmm.
And I think that's one of the gifts that I've learned over time is I don't let things, the highs, the lows, impact me and that I become super emotional. Now, yes, I celebrate the wins, and yes, I analyze the missteps and the falls and mistakes, and I think that allows me to be better. And for me, it literally is just like just being calm and having that sense of calmness is one of the secrets to my success
Hmm.
because I'm able to navigate. I don't internalize. I don't get mad at a loss. I don't like I look at the loss and I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong there? This is an opportunity for me to dissect and to be better.
Yeah.
But anger in any situation serves zero purpose. There's zero
Hmm.
benefit. It's not a good driver. Like none of it. It's just a absolute waste of energy. And
Yeah.
those that are being driven by anger, eventually, it's not going to serve them. And it'll I don't know how to put it into words, but
No, no, no.
it's just purposeful.
I love this about you, James, because it does go against some of the mental toughness messages out there. I know when Wichita State basketball, the men's basketball was having that run, I think like 10 or 15 years ago, they had that slogan, play angry. I know a lot of people talk about, activating the dark side of you and, working with that to win, right? But you're saying no, you work through it, you ask why am I feeling that? What's going on with that? Stay calm with it, sit with it, and then what do you do after that?
Yeah, that anger will serve you for a short period of time. And it could be that spark, but to sit in that place and allow that to be the driver, it's not good. And so you
Mm.
use that anger or that defeat or that misstep or that stumble to reflect, learn, and grow. And then you've got to show up with like positivity and passion and just sheer like light. That's how you win.
Hope. So tell them a little bit about why you don't stay in that anger.
It just doesn't serve you. It becomes a distractor. It becomes cancer.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of community and team. Darkness cannot exist in the presence of light.
Hmm.
In fact, darkness isn't even a thing. It's only the absence of light of which it is. And so to sit there and stew, you're sitting in a place that doesn't even exist. That's not serving you. And you cannot have positive impact if you sit and stew in the dark. It's possible.
Oh, yeah. That man. That's so good. That's so good, James. Um. So tell us a little bit about the goals coming up. Like what,
Yeah.
obviously you just I think this is your first child to be married, correct?
Yes. So Lucy just got married, and then tonight we're celebrating the open house just at our place. Friends and family just to come see her in a dress. We did a small ceremony in Los Angeles, and so just a fun opportunity to celebrate that moment. And what's next for us is
Well, I don't
what's
mean to
up?
cut you off, but I want to ask because Lucy was a big part of the 100.
Yeah, huge. She ran the entire campaign. In fact, she's now graduated, next phase of her life, and has come on board as the CEO of our company. Uh,
Whoa, James, that's huge. I'm
yes,
so glad I asked.
yeah. So she's a huge part of who we are. She understands the brand. She understands the direction. She understands the impact. She's light years ahead of anybody her age that I've come across. And so she's a gift to have on the team. And we're gonna build this thing and this impact, whatever it ends up being together.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but Lucy, I just wanted to give her some respect there because I remember in the 100, boy, she was relentless. She was there every morning at the pool doing video for you, like, and it's so awesome to have family in your business now.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really excited about the documentary. It really showcases the family involvement, the team, the community aspect of what the Conquer 100 was.
Yeah.
And then, we've launched our mastermind series where we get together every single week as a community and discuss high level things. Super powerful. You can find out about that on our website, ironcowboy.com. And then we just did our second retreat called Iron Grit Experience.
Yes, I was hoping you were going to talk about that because I want to do one of those because it looks so fun.
Yeah, it's incredible. Really life-changing for us coaches and attendees. Like we get something different out of every single one. We just finished one again at Sundance, Utah. It was incredible. And it's just the number one question I get when I come off stage is how do I become more mentally tough? And the answer to that is you grow through experiences.
Hmm.
And then I quickly realized that people are struggling and they can't put themselves and conjure up an experience enough to have growth because they quit. And you need community around you, supporting you, pushing you, elevating you. And so through our Iron Grit experiences, you have that opportunity to be pushed through community physically, emotionally, and spiritually, uh,
Mm.
and mentally. And once that happens, that's when you have breakthroughs. And those breakthroughs lead to change in every aspect of your life. And so we created the experience for people to have to push themselves physically, to push themselves mentally, to have that mind body connection.
Mm.
And it's just been just an incredible gift as we've navigated our first couple events. Our next one is in California, San Diego, um, May 2nd through 5th of 2024, depending on when you're listening to this. Uh,
Okay.
we have a few spots left available for that. All of our events sell out. And so you may want to jump on it and get your spot because
Yeah, I think I might be looking at that. I
every
might be.
single one of those is life changing.
So, do you get bored, James? Because I know, like, when I do events, like the 29029, running my first marathon, I did on my own. Do you ever get bored with like, okay, I did that. Now I got to find something else crazier to do?
No, because I can push myself in different categories of my life. I don't always
Okay.
have to up the ante. And I think in boredom is the gift to success. It's through the repetitive, monotonous, basic tasks that nobody's willing to do that you build the rock solid foundation to continue to grow. And so if you find yourself bored, stay in that spot and build
Okay.
upon that and start to be okay with the conversations that you're having with yourself. As soon as you start distracting yourself, you're no longer in a position where you're forgiving yourself for your past. If you're continually getting distracted, you're not in a position to dream about
Mm,
development and in the future. In fact, we've been so inundated by information and other people's content that we've forgotten how to dream. And without forgiving yourself for your past and the ability to dream, it's impossible to be present.
mm,
That's where in lies the gift is to be present. But I've just seen so many people just like get in the run of every single day, the checking the boxes, the to-do list, working and grinding, and they're not dreaming.
mm.
And to me, the gift is in dreaming.
Do you set aside time like in the morning when you do your meditation, your prayer? Is that when you do your dreaming, or do you actually set aside time every week to do that?
Yeah, so every single day I do just a 10-minute, just sit in silence in my thoughts and allow it to go wherever it goes. And then while I'm running or while I'm biking, that's when I dream. Because now I'm outside, I'm disconnected, I'm in nature, and I just allow my brain to open up and I come home with my most creative, most terrifying. And if I disappear on my bike for 4 hours, Sonny's like, oh damn, he's gonna come home with something today. I know it.
Yeah, I've had the best ideas that I've ever had have been on my run.
Yeah, and while you're sitting consuming TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, like you can't be creative.
No.
You're so busy in somebody else's world that you're not in your own creating.
Man, James, this is an amazing, amazing podcast right now. Like I mean, I feel like I need to say this to you. Like I'm so proud of you for saying yes to God's mission for you. You have helped thousands of people, and you're going to continue to help thousands of people.
It's the goal,
Um,
man.
it's you're a really sharing your light, and you're such a good father and good husband, um, and a good coach. You've turned into the coaches that you talked about when you were growing up. Like you've combined the best parts of your dad and your mom and your grandma into, you know, holding that legacy for yourself. And to watch, Lucy now get married and, carry the torch of your family, right? And God's light, of course. And she's going to be the next level of your family. Like it's so wild, I bet, to watch and to see, like, we have grandma, mom and dad, me, now Lucy.
Oh, dude, I am so excited to watch what my kids do because could you imagine if you or I were armed with the knowledge and experience we have today at 20 and 21?
Goosebumps.
Like what you would go on to accomplish and complete. Like it took me into my 40s to learn a lot of these lessons.
Yes, me
And I
too.
look at my kids and I try to impart knowledge on them through our experiences every single day and share that with them. And I look at Lucy and Lily and Daisy and Dolly and Quinn, and I'm just like, damn, you guys have such an incredibly bright future. And it's interesting because not that Sunny and I are perfect there, and we have tons to learn, and it's a journey for us. But we look at our kids and we're just like so humbled and grateful
Mm,
that they've had a front row seat to our suffering and our learnings. um, because they're incredible kids and they're going to go on to do unbelievable things and have that impact. In fact, my youngest son the other day, he said, "I'm going to be famous, Dad. I don't know how
Oh.
it looks like, but I'm going to change people's lives." And I was just like, "Damn,
Mm.
14." Like I wasn't
Hmm.
thinking like 14. I was thinking like, "Dude, where's the French fries?
Where's the
Where's the
French
dilly?
fries? Where's the
Where's the dilly?"
girls?
Man? Yeah, exactly, man. I'm like, my mind wasn't even on stuff like that. It's just
I
incredible.
love you said French fries too. As a wrestler, that food was champion.
I love French fries, man. In Canada, we got poutine, which is French fries and gravy and cheese, man. Three of my favorite food groups. Um,
Um, I was gonna ask you a question, and this is a very serious question, so I understand if you don't want to answer it, but I know what COVID did by putting us in the house, right? All these families. And I know in relationships with our spouse, things got really tough because we were constantly around each other, right? Um, you said that your children have seen you guys go through a lot. I have a question because there's certain schools of thought to what you let your kids witness with you guys and what you don't let them witness. And I'm just curious, like, do you have they seen mom and dad broke? Have they seen you guys broken, sad, depressed, angry, um, just you know, hard stuff? Have they seen you in those moments?
that's why they are who they are today, because they've had a front row seat.
Yeah.
We discuss everything at a high level. We include them on things that we're doing, struggles that
Mm.
we're having. I apologize to my kids for stupid things that I do or say. And kids model that.
Yeah.
Man, the pandemic shutdown was such a gift for us. And like, we get to choose every single day how we react to trauma and chaos and confusion and disaster. And same thing, we get to choose how we react to beauty and light and gifts and all these things. It's a choice how we navigate all of those things. And you could tell during the pandemic who had dealt with difficult things or challenging things in their lives based on if they were led by fear or if they were led by optimism and hope.
Yeah.
And it was just a really cool time for us because I was so busy and traveling and the world shut down and it brought our family closer together. It was an opportunity to exhale and be together as a unit and have conversations and just moments of growth. We fully looked at the pandemic as an opportunity, and we shared in that loss of life and
Mm.
traumatic moments and all those things. And the faster you can recognize that life is uncontrollable, life is going to happen, and the only power we have is how we choose to navigate through those moments. And I hope that everybody chooses to navigate with optimism, hope, and grace.
Mm.
Uh, because again, we talked about this moments ago. Fear and anger will never serve you
Yeah.
in any capacity. And they're simply just emotions, and we get to choose which emotions that we choose to lead with. And for us, it's hope, optimism, and love.
Man, James, I really appreciate you saying that your kids have a front row seat and you don't hide things from them because I agree. I think that our kids need to make sure that um, they see the struggle, they see the hard, because and then you talk about it and you teach them how to navigate through it. You talk them through this is how we're navigating through it, and that's what being a parent I believe is all about.
So fun. I saw the comedic skit the other day, where they're like, "No, man, if you come to my house, prepare to be offended because we're gonna have off-color conversations. We're gonna insult each other. We're gonna do mama jokes. We're gonna do all these things." Because guess what? When my kids go into the real world and face adversity from a boss or a challenge, they're gonna be okay with it. In fact, they're
Yeah.
gonna take it like a champ. Where
Yep.
your he's going to encounter real challenge for the first time in his life, and he's going to be on the floor in a pile of mush.
Yeah.
And I just thought that thread of comedic relief was hilarious, but it just rang so true to us, and that's why we don't shelter our kids. That's why we have those off-color conversations. That's why we have sarcasm inside of our home. We obviously teach them how to
Mm.
talk respectfully and grounded principles and honesty and integrity and all that, but man, we are a light-hearted group at home, and
Yeah.
we have some fun, and we we laugh and we joke. We tease our kids. We give them a hard time, and they dish it right back to me. Man, I'm the boomer in the home, right? I'm the old guy, and they My kids love to let me know how old I'm getting and the things that I do and say. And dude, it's
Oh,
just part of life and it's beautiful. And they've learned how to take it and they can dish it. And I think that's preparing them for the ruthlessness of what we call society today.
yeah. So I want to talk about the new book coming out because
Yeah,
that that's I can feel that's gonna be a big one. Big.
it's big, man. I just got off a call last night with the producer or the publisher. They accepted the manuscript. They approved it. They fell in love with it. And my uh, publisher said, "This is our Super Bowl. Like we're so excited about this book, and it's going to go on to sell millions of copies and impact so many people's lives. And we're so excited for that journey and what it looks like. We've poured our heart and souls into that book. It's 20 years worth of experience and knowledge of missteps and mistakes and victories and moments.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about it because it's truly our goal is the title to give people hope on the journey that they're on so that they can start showing up in a capacity where they win and get out of their own way and start creating communities for success and thriving in whatever that means to you.
And so when are we looking at for launch date?
Yeah, so mid this year we'll start doing a pre-launch, pre-sales, and it'll come out the winter season in the publishing space, which is January of 2025.
Oh, that's perfect. That's great timing too. Perfect. What's a little peek, little lesson that you can give us from the book? Little tiny guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much from our journey, but if there's a piece of advice that I can give people, it's to have the courage to look like an idiot when you're starting something new.
Hmm.
Because we're never the expert when we first start, and we're so scared with social media to be judged for not being perfect or being bad at something new that we started, and everybody's walking around, I'm the coach, I'm the expert, I'm the, and it's paralyzing society. And so I just want to really, and one of the messages from the book is to be okay with starting. Be okay with being the new kid on the block. Being okay with whatever season you are in your life to tackle something new and challenge yourself.
Hmm.
I didn't know I had a passion for wrestling until I wrestled.
Hmm.
I didn't know I had a passion for golf until I golfed. I didn't know I had a passion for triathlon until I played triathlon. I don't know of my what my next passion is, but I'm going to try to find it through experience. And that's the gift. That's
So
the message.
when you have the moments of wrestling, triathlon, how do those messages come in, and how do you know when to pull the trigger?
Elaborate on that.
So like I'm going to do this triathlon, or I'm going to write this book, Iron Hope, or I'm going to go do this thing, right? Obviously, it's planted as a seed somehow, right? How do you know when to go, you know what? I'm going to go climb that mountain. I'm going to go do that right now.
As soon as you feel something or get that intuition or hear that voice, immediate action. And
Immediate.
immediate. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Because the longer you wait, the more that's going to pass. And every thought or a moment of inspiration or intuition is an opportunity. And it may not pan out and you may not like it, and then you change course. But it could be a moment that changes your life. The opportunity came and said, get on the Ferris wheel. Okay, that's crazy. That's stupid, but I'm going to do it. Got on the Ferris wheel and I look back, it's one of those major, massive pivot points in my life. I don't get on the Ferris wheel. I don't get fired from my job. I don't win the cash prize. I don't hitchhike a ride to Utah. I don't meet my wife. I don't start triathlon. I'm probably a rig pig in the fields of Canada.
Whoa, James. That's huge. So I'm going to ask you four questions and we're going to close here in a second. These questions were, well, this first question was asked to me in the same way you got on the Ferris wheel. My counselor in high school, Mr. Tessman, said, Matt, what do you love? And this girl broke up with me and I was real sad. And I said, I love Kylie. And he said, no. What do you love that you're not doing right now? And eventually I said, well, I like to sing a little bit. And I enrolled in choir. If that moment wouldn't have happened for me, I would not be talking to you right now. Just that one question. So, James, what do you love?
Man, obviously I love my kids, love my wife, but I love experiences. I love having experience with my family. I love having experience with people I don't know. I love watching people have breakthroughs. I love breaking through myself.
Yeah.
So I just love the journey. I love the moments that aren't pretty. I love the moments that break us. There's lessons in all of those moments.
Mm. Second question, you kind of answered it a little bit already. What makes you tick? What gives you joy? What makes you go, ooh, I love that? Well, that's so much excitement.
Tell me I can't do it.
Just tell you can't do it. That makes you tick. Dude, I love that. Okay, third question there. I used to think there was like just one purpose, but I've learned in my 40s, just like you've learned so many lessons, we have multiple purposes. What are some of your purposes?
Um, One, to chase down the ultimate version of who I am. It's a moving target. I'll never catch him, but I'm going to try. And then to help other people get out of their own way and achieve their purpose.
And the last question, why is James Lawrence on Earth?
Hmm. To be determined. I know it's to have impact. I know it's to challenge myself, challenge other people. Um, and I just frankly believe the best is yet to come.
Hmm,
And every single day, I try to find out what that reason is.
man. Well, James, you've answered those four questions faster than anybody that I've ever talked to. I ask my clients and my students those questions every time when we first start working together, because those four questions, it is a life journey. It's an experience. So last thing, what would you like to leave the audience with? A lot of these people that listen to the podcast, Voiced by Matt, are trying to find their voice. They're trying to find, that inner voice and let it come out and say hello. That's what I help people with, is letting their soul come out and say hello. So what would you like to leave them with today?
Yeah, everyone's journey has to start with belief and conviction in themselves. And one of my favorite reads is The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. And I love it because everyone's walking around so concerned about what everybody else is doing and caring and thinking. And dude, as soon as you stop caring and not giving an F about what everybody else is doing or thinking, that's the moment.
Hmm,
That's the moment where you change, you grow, and can start showing up in your own life.
hmm, absolutely. Well, James, how can they get in touch with you? How, I know you mentioned your website, but go ahead and just break that down for them, and then we'll go ahead and close out. And I want to talk to you a little bit of minutes. I know you got to be a hard stop here in a second, but when I close the recording, I just want to, make sure I talk to you a little bit before you get off. But how can they get in touch with you, man?
Yeah. Everything that we offer, that we do, that we coach, that we teach, that's coming up, that's exciting on our website, ironcowboy.com. It's being revamped right now to even be better. And social media, Facebook, Instagram, handle is Iron Cowboy James, very active on there. If you want to follow the book release, the documentary release, the retreats that we put on, the masterminds that we do, that's where you can find all of it. And follow the races and challenges that we have coming up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, James Lawrence, the Iron Cowboy, for being on my show today. I really appreciate you. And I love your light. I love what you're sharing to the world. And I'm excited to keep watching and
Thanks, Matt.
hopefully be a part of it with you at some point. All right. Talk to you later, guys.